So when I was younger in high school, I was pretty damn reckless. Let's talk about the two physical altercations I got in. So, as you probably know by now, I do have bipolar disorder and I was unmedicated for most of high school, and this just made me very reckless. I love drugs and I love to get active, and if a fight was coming my way, I wasn't exactly going to avoid it. But in my opinion, I've never started a fight. Okay, maybe that's not true. Maybe I started the second fight. So let's get into the first one, and I'll tell you guys about the second one later. The second one wasn't really a fight. I just kind of got sucker punched and the guy ran away. But so let's get into the first one. So there's this kid I've seen around school. His name was Doug. And Doug was one of those kids where he thought he was a gangster blood. He totally thought he was in a gang. He thought it was hard for selling small amounts of drugs, overpriced. And the rumor was that one of these kids' uncles was like a blood in LA and moved here and started one with all the little kids. But I don't believe that shit. I think this kid's just listened to too much rap music and wanted to be hard. So I see Doug one day. I'm going to the skate park with my friends, and we see Doug there. And we all know that we all like to trip and do drugs and all this shit. So he says, "Hey man, I've got some acid. Do you need any acid?" And at this point, I was pretty much never going to turn down a tab. If someone was offering me a hit of acid for a reasonable price, I was gonna take it and drop that bitch right away. So I'm like, well, maybe, man, how much? I might buy a few tabs, 5, 10 strip. And he tells me $20 a hit. So my exact words, I went, $20 a hit? Are you serious? And this fucking set him off. This kid's going, don't you fucking suck your teeth at me. That's disrespectful, you fucking bitch. All this shit. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, that's way overpriced. I'm not going to pay $20 for a tab of acid. I don't understand why you're freaking out. And just for context at this point, 10 for a tab was average, but I usually got them for like 5 because we would buy a bunch of them. So there's no way in hell I'm paying $20 for a single hit of acid. So this kid's talking shit to me pretty much, I don't know how long, 10, 20 minutes. He tells me, let's fight, dude, let's fight. And I'm like, all right, let's fight. And then he's like, well, actually, I'm going to get my homie to fight you. So I'm like, what the fuck is this kid on about? And I understand why. I was like 6'4", he was like 5'5", and scrawny as fuck. But the kid he got me to fight was also scrawny as fuck, but he was like 6 foot. So I guess it was a little better. But so this kid's talking shit, and eventually he just leaves. And I'm talking to my friends. I'm like, what the fuck? $20 for a hit? That guy's tripping. And we're like, yeah. And so we all go home. The night ends. We don't think about it. And then the next day, these kids are still talking shit to me, like online, calling me a bitch, saying they're gonna fight me and all this shit. Their exact words were, squat up, man, squat up, show up and squat up. So guess what I did? I squat up, bro. So I got, no joke, 25, 30 homies roll with me. We had like 4 cars packed with like 6 people each. And, or like 5 cars with like 5 or 6 people each. And so we drive down to this park, we line our cars up, and we all get out of the cars. And they tell me to squat up, so I expect they're coming deep. They told me to come deep, so I brought all my homies, and they all had my back. They were all cheering for me. I'm sure we were on coke, um, but we pulled up, and it was like a movie, dude. Like this big circle of kids all around the park in this random neighborhood, and so we show up, and these kids only have like 4 kids with them, and we're kind of like, what the fuck? They said squat up. They said they wanted a problem, but they brought 4 kids, these kids aren't really trying to fucking do this. And then we get there, and this one of the other kids thought he was a blood. He was like a few years younger than Doug. He told us he brought a gun in case anyone gets shady, which is crazy because they told us to squat up, so I assumed they were ready for a big fight. But this kid's talking about pulling a gun, and I'm just like, dude, this kid's like 13, 14, thinks he's gonna pull a gun. What a fucking bitch. And of course, the gun never left his pants because he's a pussy. And that kid actually ended up doing like 10 years in prison for a drive by where no one was home. He wasn't even trying to hit anyone, he just shot up an empty house. So we get to the park, everyone's hyped up. This kid's telling me he's got a gun. Me and my friends are laughing at him. And the kid's homie shows up, and I'm about 6'4" and 240 at this point. This kid's probably 6 foot and 120 pounds, scrawny as fuck. He's got braces on. And so everyone circles up, we line up, me and this kid face each other. And I've never fought before, so we're just kind of like this. Oh, yeah, and this kid, let me see. He wasn't punching me like this, like I was punching him. He had a lighter in his hand, and he was hammer fisting me like this in the cheek with the lighter, like this. Not even packing his fist, straight up hitting me with the corner of the lighter, which was also definitely a bitch move. These kids were pussies. They claimed they were hard as fuck. They were the gangsters of the town and shit, but they weren't really on shit. And then they just thought they were cool because they sold weed. But we show up. I square up with this kid. He's got a lighter in his hand, and I've never been in a fight. He throws the first punch. He gives me one of these straight to my head with the lighter, and I've never been hit in the face before, so I'm kind of like, what the fuck? I don't fall down or anything. I'm not bleeding or anything, but I'm kind of like, what the fuck? So I take a few steps away, and he hits me again, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I run a little bit, not to like run away, but to like get in front of him so he's not behind me anymore. So I turn around, I punch him a couple times, and his mouth starts bleeding because he's got braces on, and he's kind of just like this. I could tell he wasn't feeling good, and we just kind of hit each other a few more times, and it's over. Because one of the neighbors called the cops, and so cop pulls up. We all split. This kid's bleeding from the mouth. I'm totally fine. You know, he hit me with the lighter a couple times right here. I think I had a little mark, not like a black eye, but a little, almost a bruise from the lighter. And so we all split. We all start walking back to our cars. These kids start walking back to the house they were at, which is literally across the street from the park we fought at, which is fucking retarded. If you're gonna do something illegal, why would you do it in your front yard? But these are also the same kids. One time we went to buy weed from them before we really knew them, and they told us $15, $20 a gram, which is crazy because we live in Washington. Even back then, a gram was $5 or $10, and we kind of laugh at them, and then we're like, "We'll give you like $12 because we can't find anything else right now, so we'll do it." And it's a fucking dime bag full of seeds. There's like 10 seeds in a dime bag. It's barely even weed. So that's another reason we didn't like these kids. They're literally fucking retarded. I hated these kids. I still hate these kids. And so we all split up. We go back to our cars, and as we're leaving the neighborhood through this like gateway through like two fences, kind of an alley, a cop pulls up to me and my friends as we're getting away. We all split up, so it's 6 or 7 of us. And the cop's like, I heard someone was fighting here. Is anyone fighting? And all my friends, which were very much shorter than me, got in front of me to try to shield me so they couldn't tell us fighting. And the cops looking at all our face, the flashlight, like, what were you guys doing? Are you fighting? What's going on? And he looked at my whole face. Not one mark, not one bruise, not one drop of blood. So he believed us that we weren't fighting simply because this kid couldn't hit hard enough to make me bleed. And so we just continue the night. We go back to our cars. We go back to the spot. I'm sure we're partying all night. We're like, what the fuck just happened? I wouldn't say anyone won that fight, but he was bleeding and I wasn't. So I take that as like a small victory. But I suck at fighting. I can't fight worth shit. I literally ran from him for like 30 seconds straight, just running in a circle trying to get my bearing back. So the only saving grace is that I hit harder than him and that neither of us could fight. So no one really lost or won. So after that, we go back to the house, we party, everything's normal, we kind of forget about it. And then the next day, I go to school, and I've got the little mark from the lighter, and it had spread around school that me and this kid were fighting. He went to a different school, but like everybody knew about this, so it spread around all of our schools. These that we were fighting, and this girl that was friends with this girl I used to date, told the counselor that I got in a fight over weed. So I get pulled into the counselor. He's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, nothing. And then he said, I heard you got in a fight. And I was like, I didn't get in a fight. Who told you that? And then he was like, what's this little mark? And I was like, I don't know, nothing. And obviously he wasn't buying it. You know, kids talk. The teachers aren't dumb. He knew what was going on. But he was like, I heard it was over this. And does like a fake bong motion. And I'm like, I'm literally laughing in his face. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And so this girl that was friends with the girl I was with the 2 years before that, they were like salty that I was hanging out with these kids. and doing drugs and fighting and stuff. So she told the counselor that I got in a fight over weed to try to get me suspended. And the counselor honestly was kind of cool. I'm sure he smoked weed. He knew we all smoked weed. But obviously, if a kid gets in a fight over drugs, you gotta like step in. But yeah, he was just nothing ever really came from it. He didn't suspend me because he couldn't prove it, and it didn't happen in school. So that's pretty much the end of story of the first fight. And like I said, the second one wasn't really a fight. So let's get into that. So I was going through a manic episode. I was doing a lot of drugs. I go to parties every night, and we'd usually be on acid or Molly or Coke or all three, smoking hella weed, drinking hella, and so I get to this party, my friend's party. It's on my block in my neighborhood, and these girls that I went to school with, the same girls that were hanging out in that group that tried to sell weed and thought they were gangster, they all they started talking shit at the party. I could see them whispering and looking at me and pointing at me like to make me notice, but act like they're being sly. They're like, "Did you see him? He got fucked up. He was all bloody." And me and my friends were like, "Actually, I wasn't all bloody. That kid was all bloody." And then I go off because I'm manic and on drugs. I'm like, "Shut up, you fucking bitch! You don't know shit." And I was like, "Your fucking boy's a pussy. He couldn't do shit to me." And then uh, I call her a bitch or some shit, which I shouldn't have done, but I was off one. And then I'm pretty sure I told this other girl my homies would put her in a crab pot if she kept fucking with me, which is retarded because I wasn't gonna kill anyone when I was like 16. But I was off one, dude. I was genuinely crazy without my meds, and I was just going insane, telling him fuck you," and I was like blackout drunk, coked the fuck up. So that kind of calms down. We're just drinking and partying. But my fucking light died. Talking about this story just pisses me off so much. So I'm calling them a bitch. I'm fucked up. I'm telling them all this crazy shit. And I don't know how long goes by. It could have been 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I don't really know. But I remember, so this house, I knew this house very well. It was my homie's house. I went there all the time. So there's the living room, the kitchen, and then there's a short hallway where the bedrooms, the bathroom, and a closet are. And so the bathroom's on the left, and the sliding closet doors are directly ahead of me. I think I was walking into the bathroom to do a line or walking into my homie's room to smoke or something. But I'm walking down the hall. I hear boom, front door swings open, and I hear this kid fucking stomping through the house. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm fucked up, and it's a party, so I'm just like, whatever. I keep going. Next thing I know, boom, punch to the back of the fucking head, and I land straight into the sliding door of the closet. And this kid's just kind of fucking hitting on me. I'm fucked up. I don't know what's happened. I'm doing this. I'm like, fucking stop, dude. And then he lets me up. So I get up, and this motherfucker turns around, sprints out the door, and takes off in his homie's car after sucker punching me. And so I'm chasing him out the door. I chase him to the car, and he fucking takes off. And at that point, I'm fucking furious. I'm all coked up. I'm fucked up. Uh, and this kid just fucking pussied out and ran away after sucker punching me. And that is the second fight I've been in. I still fucking hate that kid. My friends have always had problems with him even way before this. My other friend actually got in a real fight with him, but that's not my story to tell. I'm sure you guys will hear about that at some point. And so these are the two times that I got in physical altercations. Both these kids really pissed me off. The first two kids from the first story, I'd seen them later on. We're kind of like, uh, we're not confrontational, but I still don't fucking like them. And this kid from the second one, I will always fucking hate him, dude. Fuck that kid. Fuck that kid forever. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If you like the story, please like the video. Maybe give it a share, show your friends, show your family. We're doing really good, guys. The channel's been going great. It hasn't even been that long. Let's see, 13 days since we started the channel. No, 23 days since we started the channel, and shit is going great. So I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. I have a lot more stories. A lot of crazy shit happened to me in my life, and I'll continue to tell you guys all about it. So thank you for watching. Please check out the other videos. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.